What's good, guys? So I got gameplay for you today, and this is gonna be Sky Striker versus Tri-Brigade. So the best deck versus a deck that just came back. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'll preface this by saying I am definitely not the best Sky Striker player. But so I'm gonna go second, and Striker is definitely one of those decks where you can go second very comfortably. All the Striker cards are really good. So they start off with Tanky, probably gonna get Fractal, yep, and then just the normal combo. And the person I'm playing against is my boy that didn't play against Sky Sugar, so he's gonna be doing a lot of reading on the new cards. I know a lot of people are gonna be like that. And then Rescue Cat, one of the new additions to the deck that people are testing out because the zoo cards are so much weaker now. But so I preemptively veiled her so you can't. But he chooses to still clear it, which tells me that he has which should have told me he has Gamma. But I think I play into it anyway. So I go 0, try to dig for Ray, and I hit it. I don't hit Ray, I hit two of the weaker cards that actually play into the Gamma. But I grab drones thinking, oh, like I just want to stack a spell. Then Hayate, we're going to try to get to the engage. And then 1500 activate effect, Gamma, and that's about it. I can't float. I'm just going to set cards, pass. Hopefully he does not kill me. And then he goes Fractal again. And then the Nerval normal summon. He misclick, and then he's going to start comboing. And I believe I don't have much to actually interact. I have two Cosmics, not that great against this deck. But lucky for me, he wanted Tanky, and I actually hit something with it. So that's good. New addition to his deck. I was asking why he's playing it. I don't know if I'm missing something, but this card just pops spells and traps. Maybe there's some kind of combo that I don't know about. And then he gets the draw off the Frigid and the Nerval Search. Then he pops. So that's actually not that bad. But then he passes. He has nothing left, and I have 3 spells engraved, so I'm feeling safe because I can burner this and then hit my own field spell to get to Ray. But I just draw Ray, so things just got way easier. Do the combo, and then I hit a anchor as well. So I'll add the anchor to my hand, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm about to grab my engage, and if it resolves, it's usually just game over. So finally, we send the engage, the one of. It's so good to actually resolve engage. This deck actually feels kind of nice now. Before, it just felt so mediocre. Activate engage, it gets Ash, whatever. See, even if it gets Ash, it's not the biggest worry because next turn, if you don't die next turn, they have to have another answer for the engage, or else it's just too much. And then Shizuku, I'm going to add a follow-up, and I'm going to burn her. Set. Believe I had Widow. Yeah, I could have added a roll too, but a Widow's good. I was just scared that if he gets to revolt, I want something to deal with it. Then he starts, and then Widow's just so in the simplified game states. Once you get to this, it's so easy with Sky Striker, but it's just getting to that point where everything's very like down to like 1 or 2 cards. I get Kagari, get engage, and that's about if that's about it. He scoops, engage is about to resolve, and usually by that point the game's over. Now, game 2, he's going to go first again, and I'm going to go second, and I have a nice hand, and we'll see how this game goes. I definitely could play these hands way better, but like that's something that if you guys just keep playing Sky Striker, you'll get better at it for sure, because it's one of those decks you have to really get the max value out of every card. Misplaying on this deck really just screws you over. Then he's just going to start comboing. Karas, Frigid effective summon, and no hand traps, so I believe he's just going to end on DDL, Appaloosa, and Revolt, which is kind of difficult for most decks to deal with. But luckily, Sky Striker doesn't care too much about that field, as opposed to other combo decks. Like Drytron would probably just auto-lose to it unless they have something to deal with the field, like Droplets. I think that's a misclick. Yeah, it's just Appo. And then set, he just had the Revolt, so he didn't have to try to go for a combo for it. And then unfortunately, I draw Skullmeister. I go Terra, so I think he goes Ash because he's scared of Mystic Mine. Because if I Mystic Mine, then I could just pick apart the whole entire field very easily. And that's why Mystic Mine's so good. You don't have to just sit on Mystic Mine in this deck. You can just activate Mystic Mine, don't go for the deck out, and just clear the whole field. Pot of Desires, draw Cosmic, Rhoda. That's okay. We're stacking spells. I honestly don't know how I feel about Rose. I feel like Rose is kind of bad, but I think it's like just mandatory to play. I go Cosmic, force the Revolt. And then here comes Shirag, I believe. No, he went for the yeah. There's no reason to go for Shirag actually. And then he tries to trigger Nerval, and I go Skullmeister, and I'm trying to just force an Apo negate because life becomes so much easier if the Apo is gone, because of I can just attack over it then. But he doesn't, and he just loses the follow up on Nerval. Then I go normal summon Ray. This is definitely how I definitely can play this turn way better than the way I played it. So definitely let me know in the comments if there's different order of operations to actually crack the whole field, because I'm just so rusty on this deck. Definitely do not feel that comfortable. But he goes bounce, and I go Widow Anchor thinking that's I have to do that, and I take it. But I'm just like, now the most important thing with the striker deck is when you're going second, you just want to get to your engage and try to resolve it, because usually that's when the game is just very easy. But now I realize he has 2 negates on Apo, and my Kagari is definitely just going to get negated because I can't run over it, unfortunately. So I don't know if widowing something else is just better, but I needed my Hayate to be able to send Engage to the grave. So we send it to the grave. He doesn't negate it because I just tell him, wait for the Kagari. It's very easy. So I go Zeke first. That's 1 negate. And unfortunately, now I'm going to go for the Kagari, and you just negate on that. So I don't know if there is a different way to play it. I think there probably is. I definitely should look into this turn again. I go Shiz. I can't clear anything, unfortunately. If I could get to that engage, I could definitely just clear everything. And then I just scoop. He has the follow-up. I couldn't crack the field, and I see what's about to happen to me, and I don't have, like, a Widow Anchor to actually deal with his follow-up. Game 3, I'll be going second again. He wants to get... going second with this deck, like I said, is very... the more fluid thing to do with it. I don't know. I know my list had... that I put out was a going first list, but it just... I don't know. I never felt like the striker deck was that good going first unless you have 3 engage. So he goes for his combo, and I've never actually seen Rescue Cat resolve, but I'm sure it's just like the whole entire DDL Appaloosa Revolt by itself, because Rescue Cat resolving is crazy, but it's just like a magnet to every hand trap. And then he just sets 2 passes, and I have Duster. I'm feeling good. No anti-spell, and the only thing I can lose to right now is Imperial Order. I go Terraforming to see if he has Order. Area 0, and I'm feeling very comfortable. I go Duster. Duster for 2. Oh, I hit Twin. And he twins this just to get the kit, I believe, to Graveyard, which is not the best, but then he can use the Revolt to actually make something. And then I Skullmeister his Graveyard effect. And Area 0 with Ray. It's very simple from here. And I grab Widow. So good. Simplified game state, and now I'm definitely in a good position, and I'm going to try to get to my engage. Engage is there, then Kagari, add back 2 spells right now, and I'll get the 3rd with my Desires. I go Desires, and he thinks about it. He wants to Ash, but then he's just like, oh no, I'll just wait on the engage. So I think that's fine, because both the cards are 2, but one lets me pick the card, while the other one's just 2 random cards. And then I go Engage. He goes Ash. Unfortunate, but I have Widow for his follow-up, Skullmeister, and Shizuku's going to add another card. So definitely good. And Penguin Traps might come up if he clears my whole field. His turn's definitely going to be difficult, but he plays his turn really well too. 1 Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor is definitely very hard for this deck to play around. Effect Negation's been so good. And that's another reason why I think the Striker deck will see definitely way more play, because Widow Anchor is really good into the format right now, going first or second. He goes Tenki. That's fine. He's going to summon a monster, and I'm thinking I have to Widow and take it, whichever monster he summons, and tries to trigger the effect. So he summons Frack. I believe he's thinking about whether or not he wants to summon Frack. Yeah, he goes Kit first, so I know both the cards. And then he's just changing the zones, and then he uses the effect. And then I would go Widow Anchor, take it. Then he crashes. He triggers the effect. I tried to Skullmeister, but I forgot Damage Step can't Skullmeister. So that's fine. And then he gets his effects. Karas, and then now he gets to play. But luckily, I get to survive because it's main phase 2. So I'm not that scared of what he does, but what he does is really good. Doom Eagle hit the Ray out of my grave, so I lose my floating. Then he's gonna make Shurag. Shurag's gonna banish my Area Zero because he knows I have multi-roll. If Area Zero doesn't leave the field, then multi-roll just gonna get to array again. Then I Skullmeister Omen. Not Omen, he chain blocks, so he puts the Bear Blossom as Chainlink 2, so I just negate that. But then he gets a monster and he gets to keep playing. So he summons DDL, bounces my Shizuku. Now I have no follow-up. There's only one unknown card, which is Pankatrops. And then it depends on what I draw. There's a lot of good cards I can draw, but right now I need a way to get to array, or else Pankatrops is my only thing. And guess what? There it is. I draw Ray. There's definitely a lot of different cards I can draw, but Ray is definitely like the best one. I go special, and then at this point, like, the game's kind of over. He has nothing in his hand, and I'm about to get to my engage and resolve it for the draw one, and it's just very difficult for decks to come back after that. So I add the engage, and then I tried activating engage, but I'm like, oh wait, I have Pankatrops on the field, so I just clear everything first. And then on main phase 2, I'm going to set up like a crazy field because I have the roll and engage. And I'm pretty sure this game is pretty much over. Pankatrops, pops, and that's about it. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I've been having a lot of fun with Sky Strikers. Let me know what you guys think about the Sky Striker deck. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.